Hey YouTube, this is Ben Yessel. Just a little bit different spot here, a little different area. Instantly starting out this video, I've subscribed recently to Camera Conspiracies, also run by Casey Stern, Vegetable Police, and so yeah, he's known as Vegetable Police, and one of his other channels is bigger. And I have to ask myself the question: why am I subscribed to Camera Conspiracies if I use my Android for my main video recording things right now, and I don't have a $1,000, you know, and I'm not really editing my videos, and I'm not, well, I consider it to be educational. So in time, ideas that I'll be getting more and more knowledgeable about all this stuff. And maybe some of it actually might tie in with making movies in the future. Who knows? But it's just a question of what one makes time for, I guess. It's a lot of things to do in life. But the reason I mention this is, Casey talks about all this stuff. And it's easy to it's easier for me to take what he's saying more seriously with Camera Conspiracies than it is on his other channel where he talks about health. Because it's not that he's totally brainless, or he's not. It's just that I've seen so much of his videos on his health channel that it's, to me, mostly, yeah. I just don't take him as seriously, even though he's a decent guy. He's a funny guy. He's a funny guy, but he knows a lot about cameras, and so maybe that's why I take his channel more seriously. But if I do, it's funny because someone like him, you have to kind of watch his stuff for a bit before you realize, oh, Casey's, he, he has this. He's generally not serious. He's not really super serious unless his brow is furrowed, and he has he's generally kind of jokey a little bit. Anyway, that wasn't really what always well. That was just one little snippet what I wanted to talk about, but it's just that I've seen his videos so much on his health channel that perhaps when I think about health and nutrition, which I've mentioned a lot of things in that regard, I made a lot of videos in that regard in the past, and I've actually kind of organized my videos a little bit somewhat recently, where I have some playlists and things, and I might not be making as many health or food related videos. If I do, they'll be cooking. Increasingly, I think cooking was going over a little bit better. You guys like to see how I make different kinds of things, and I might be doing that some more. But in terms of general info content, maybe some, but maybe I'm overdoing that a little bit. It'd be nice to get some feedback there. But I think again, the cooking and certain kinds of information would be great. But there's also kind of just my general vlogs, and that sometimes there's kind of I kind of don't always separate, videos very well. I'm gonna probably, do another thing where I make some more playlists, and I, kind of drag videos around, and kind of change things up with my playlist. So, but the idea is that you guys can just see more of what I've actually made, or see more of what might be interesting to you. So this is, somewhat of more of a vlog kind of thing, but it touches on food a little bit. It's just that I've really, in the summertime, I kind of get really big into berries, right? As you know, I've made some videos where you see what I've bought. I see how much berries I get. And as a single gentleman, I really, could probably cut down a little bit on my grocery bill, but I think berries are worth it always. What I get is always very healthy, but it's just, it's just so hard to pass up berries. But to be honest, some of the berries have been great tasting. Some of them have been pretty good, even though I know they've all been healthy. But that being said, the best tasting berries I've had really this summer have been strawberries, followed by actually, I'd say, kind of a toss up between cherries and blueberries. But the strawberries have been pretty stinking good. Just like candy. Just red. I've had some great strawberries. And I know it's been very helpful, health wise for me. I feel there's all the vitamin C. I get a lot of vitamin C. And, the blueberries and cherries have been great. Actually, blueberries, yeah. But the raspberries, golden raspberries were pretty good. The raspberries, well, I had a lot of raspberries that were kind of just so-so this year. I'm not really sure why. Raspberries are at their best flavor when they're kind of a little bit tart. If they're too magenta colored, right? If they're become too fat, a little bit overripe, then I just had some raspberries that are like, they're milder tasting. I like them when they're a little bit tart. I don't know, a little bit disappointing in that regard, but as August, as we get into August, I'm probably gonna still have some kinds of berries, but I'm not the biggest fan of taste testing fruit as well because, well, you're kind of eating into someone else's profit a little bit, depending on how many taste testing. But maybe I just have a little bit of a. It's not that it's nothing personal, but when I see it's not just ladies, and when I see people taste testing stuff, I'm like, I ask myself, I don't do that. Why do you think that's okay and I can't do that? Or, I have mixed feelings about taste testing, berries and fruit and stuff. I have mixed feelings about that because it's a question of how many you have of them. But I think if they offer free samples, then yeah, okay. But it has to say free sample. I don't just like going up to a farmer's market berry seller and say, hey, can I try one of these? Just sample it, see how good it is, That's every single customer. If every single customer did that, that's why I'm just like, yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I just see things on the vendor's side or on the farmer's side too, in that regard. But the problem with that, with not taste testing, is sometimes you get some mediocre berries. So then you try to gauge how tasty it is just from appearance, and that's not easy to do. It's easier to do that with strawberries. Strawberries, you can tell, I think, how good a strawberry is. You can. It's not a surefire thing. You can also kind of tell with blueberries. So strawberries and blueberries are pretty easy to tell. Raspberries, kind of. Cherries are also a little bit deceptive too, I think. It might look like an apple, like it might look really juicy and stuff, but then you eat it and you're like, yeah, that was a little bit disappointing, right? Some flavor, but not as much as you expected. Especially when you're talking about those waxy cherries, you get these cherries in grocery stores that, in June or later on, and they have a nice color, but yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of mediocre cherries out there, I think. So I'm going to try to focus on cheaper foods somewhat for a bit. As can try to conserve a little bit of money. So I'm going to try to focus on, again, more potatoes and beans and peanuts a little bit, organic corn, oranges, eggs, some canned chili. And I'm also going to try to make my own chili with beans and maybe some ground beef. Of course, grass-fed ground beef is more expensive, so I don't know. I can't say I'm 100% grass-fed beef guy. Yes, I do eat a fair amount of. When it comes to beef, a lot of what I eat is grass-fed. But also, it's just so expensive that some of what I eat is not. But if it isn't, a lot of that is also high animal welfare rating beef, or it's better than. But if it comes to canned stuff, a lot of beef out there is conventional. Just again, it's a question of how much you have of that stuff. So I'm going to try to get maybe a little bit of bread, rolls, although I don't make a habit of getting that stuff. It's cheaper. It's not as healthy, but I'm ready for some of that stuff. I'm not talking about donuts, not donuts. Just maybe those Hawaiian dinner rolls are really tasty, but they're not especially healthy for you. But I could go for some of that stuff, especially in the summertime. Sunflower seeds. Trader Joe's has the greatest pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, almonds. Yeah, it's just a no-brainer. I can always get some more of that stuff, and then keep the chicken and turkey coming, chicken and turkey, but and noodles. I'm trying making stuff with more noodles, applesauce. I think also, of course, the trail mix and raisins for snacky stuff. But that's kind of the general. I'm going to balance out some of the expensive berries I've been buying with some of that cheaper stuff. I think somewhat, and then when you force yourself to make a good salad, right, or you have some vegetables, it's really hard to do that in the summer when it gets really hot. But if you do that, you end up feeling a lot healthier. You just feel a lot better. And I like to add in again fresh herbs. That's the flavor I think that we should have sometimes more in salads. Are things like mint and cilantro and basil, fresh basil. You put some of that stuff in there. You can add whatever salad greens you want to. The salad's gonna taste amazing. Squeeze a little lime juice over that stuff. It's just the way to go. Anyway, I'm gonna have to wrap up this video. It's anyway, but if I move, I know that for sure I want to have a situation where everybody is trying to be really really healthy. That's something that I think would help me out there a little bit more too. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Take care. Bye.